Hello everyone, myself Dr. Sunny Kumar. I am Assistant Professor in Department of Chemical Engineering from PKG College of Engineering and Technology, Panipat. This is my first lecture on unit process. Okay, now we have to start. So the presentation outline is based on, first I will introduce the introduction of the syllabus of this unit process, then course outcomes, syllabus outlines, and whatever the recommended books available for this subject. So this is my presentation outline for this unit process. So the purpose of this unit process subject is to make the student able to understand about various unit processes like ammonia synthesis or alkylation or sulfonation. So these are some examples which we will read in this subject, and our main goal for a student is to understand about the different processes in chemical industries are used for produce for different products. So the student should be aware about this thing. Now in the course outcomes, the course outcomes will be to familiarize with the alkylation process. I have already told you that, and the hydrogenation, to understand the concept of hydrogenation, what is the use hydrogenation in the process, and to familiarize with the sulfonation and halogenation and the nitration. These the things we will read in our course outcomes. So the next one we will tell you about the syllabus. What will be the syllabus for this subject? So the first one is unit 1, which is the alkylation, and the product derived from the alkylation, or the type of alkylation, factor controlling alkylation, flow sheet for alkyl, aryl sulfonate, sulfuric acid, alkylation for petroleum industries, equipment for alkylation, and kiloj cascade alkylator. So these are the things we will read in the first unit. In the second unit we will read about the hydrogenation, the product derived from the hydrogenation, types of hydrogenation, factors controlling hydrogenation, equipment for hydrogenation, apparatus and the materials of construction, and high pressure autoclave, shaking autoclaves, flow sheets for synthesis of methanol from carbon monoxide, and hydrogen and hydrogenation of oil. So these are the examples we will read in this syllabus. And the third unit will be the sulfonation. The sulfonation and the sulfonatic agent we will read, physical and chemical factor in the sulfonation, mechanism of desulfonation, industrial equipment and techniques, batch sulfonation, cattle, ball mill sulfonator, flow sheet for the manufacture of anthraquinone sulfonate, ethanol from methylene. So these are the things we will read in the unit 3. And in the unit 4 we will read about halogenation, product derived by the halogenation, types of halogenation, mechanism of halogenation, design and construction of equipments for halogenation, the flow sheet for the manufacture of chloroacetic acid, monochloroacetic acid and chloral. So this is the one. And the another part is nitration. In the fourth unit, the halogenation and the nitration we will read. In nitration, product derived from the nitration, process equipment for nitration, batch nitration, continuous nitration, estimated nitration of propane. So these are the syllabus. The 4 unit is in your syllabus. The first unit is the alkylation, the second one is hydrogenation, and the third one is sulfonation, and in the fourth unit we will read halogenation and the nitration. So these are the whole syllabus of unit process. Now I will tell you about what are the different books you have required for this subject. The first book will be the Unit Process in Organic Synthesis by P.H. Grozins, and the second one is Chemical Technology by Mark and Han, and the third one is Chemical Engineering, Dave and NT Madras to Central. So this is the three books which is recommended for this subject. Okay. Now, so we have discussed about the syllabus, what are the syllabus for this system. So now we will start the unit 1. In the unit 1 we will read first alkylation. Okay, so we have already discussed in the unit 1 the first topic is alkylation. So we will discuss about the what is alkylations. Okay, so alkylation is the transfer of an alkyl group from one molecules to another. Actually, for the if you are creating a product and the whatever the reaction is happening in the reactant to the product, which is the alkylation, the alkyl group is transferred from one molecule to another. So we have to know about the what is the alkyl group. So this is the alkyl group CnH2n plus 1. This is the formula for the alkyl group, where N is, this is the alkyl group, and where N is 1 2 3, it can be anything. Like if you will put N equal to 1, so it will be CH4. If you put the 2, so it will be C2 for H5. So this thing you will read about this thing. If you will put 1, so it will be CH3. Okay, so this will be the alkylation. Okay, so in the alkylation we will the contents are, first we will do the introduction, then that what is the type of alkylation we are reading, and the third one in alkylation agent, factor controlling alkylation, equipment for alkylation, and the effect of alkylation. So these are the things we will read in the alkylation. And the technical alkylation, these are the different topics we will read in this unit. Now, so we have already know about what is the alkylation. It is a transfer of an alkyl group from one molecules to the another, and the alkyl group may be transferred as an alkyl carbon-cations, a free radical, or carbon anion, or carbene, or these their equivalents. Alkyls from homologous series. The simplest series have the general formula, like this is the general formula we have already discussed, CnH2n plus 1. The alkyls include methyl CH3, ethyl C2H5, propyl C3H7, butyl C4H9, pentyl C5H11, and alkyl group that contains one ring have the formula CnH2n plus 1, which is the example is cyclopropyl or cyclohexyl. So these things which comes into the alkyl group. Now, so we will read about the substitution for the hydrogenation in the carbon compounds. So this is generally the reaction comes into the Friedel-Crafts reaction, where the CH2 and CH2CH, and these are the groups. This is a Friedel-Crafts reaction, and the substitution for the hydrogen in the hydroxyl group. This is the another reaction we will read, and the substitution for the hydrogen attached to the nitrogen, and this is this one, and the addition of an alkyl halide, which is this one. This is halides. This is CH2,2Cl. These halides are chlorine, iodine. These things we can also changes the happenings in the reaction. And the alkyl metallic compounds, which is the Pb, the lead and the mercury, these things we have to introduce. So we have so you are seeing this, the carbon hydrogen substitution for the hydrogen in the carbon compound, the hydrogen hydroxyl group. So you are seeing OH group we are including, and the substitution of hydrogen attached to the nitrogen. So this the C6H5N nitrogen you are including, and the halide group chlorine, iodine you can also include, and the alkylic metallics. So lead and this mercury you are using this group. These are the different compounds, alkylic changes we can do. And the other miscellaneous alkylation in mercaptanes, the alkyl group is bound into sulfur. So this is the one example. See CnC12H24SH, the sulfur group is included in this. Or in the alkyl silane, which is the silicon group, we can also include with this alkyl group. So it is the bound to the silicon. So these are the some modification in the reaction we can do, and we can get the different products by the alkylation. Okay, now next is, so what type of products derived from this alkylation. So we have know about what are the compounds we can generate, which can be the halide based or nitrogenous base or sulfur base or this silane base. So now what are the products derived from the alkylation, we will read. So in the unit process is used in the making of different type of drugs, like anesthetics drugs, and these drugs are used for the temporary losses of sensation or awareness. And the antipyretics is a substance that reduces the fever. So this type of drugs we can also use which have required this alkylation reaction. And the alkaloids are a class of basics naturally occurring organic compounds that contains at least one nitrogen atom. And the antiseptics are antimicrobial substances that are applied to the living tissue skin to reduce the possibility of infection, sepsis or putrefaction. So these are the things, these are different drugs. In the for manufacturing of these drugs, we have to the reaction happening is alkaline based reaction generally happening for making these type of drugs. So now the other example of the products is detergent. A detergent is a surfactant or a mixture of a surfactant with cleaning or properties in dilute solution. So this is the example of the detergent which is generally used. The dyes. A dye is a color substance that chemically bound to the substrate to which it is being applied. The dyes are also used for the in alkylation reaction is used for the dye manufacturing. So these are different colors of dyes generally we use. And the explosives. An explosive is a reactive substance that contains a great amount of potential energy that can be produced an explosive if released suddenly or usually accompanied by the production of light, heat and sound and pressure. So this is the one reaction, this is nuclear reaction is happening. In this also the alkylation reaction is happening. And the flavors. So we are for tasting, if you are drinking some fruities or any other drinking liquids, so they have a different flavors. So you can also create the different flavors by the different reactions. So alkylation reaction is also important for the flavoring the liquids. The flavor or taste is the perceptual impression of food or other substance, and is determined primarily by the chemical senses. Okay. The hypnotics or psychotics drugs, commonly known as sleeping pills, are a class of psychoactive drugs whose primary function is to introduce sleep and for the treatment of insomnia. So this is another example. So this is, and the lubricants. A lubricant is a substance, usually organic or introduced to reduce friction between surface in the mutual contact, which is ultimately reduce the heat generation when the surface move. In the bikes generally we use the lubricants. So this is the way which reduces the frictions between the different gears. Okay. In the medicine purpose we can use, in the perfumes we can use, this is an example. Different perfumes generally this alkylation reaction is happening. And the photographic chemicals also this alkylation reaction is happening. The plasticizer or plastics for making these different plastic products. So we have to this alkylation reaction is generally required. In the resin and synthetic rubber, in this alkylation reaction is used. And this rubbers chemicals, the accelerator, antioxidant, modifier, stabilizer, solvent, soporifies, and synthetic gasoline. So these are the other products which generally we where this alkylation reaction is happening. Now in the petroleum industry, so the gasoline obtained by the straight run gas distillation. Okay, the longer molecules were cracked, gasoline synthesized on a large scale. And the important reaction is an alkylation, where the olefins by the ads of catalyst, example isoparaffin and aromatics. Alkylation plays an important role in the production of synthetic rubber of the GRS. Instead of the gasoline production, the synthetic rubbers we can also produce by these reactions. And this unit process being employed for the preparation of ethylene benzene from the styrene is a dried. The Laurel mercaptan has been manufactured for the use of modifier making synthetic rubber. So these are the tire example. Tire generally made for this rubbers, synthetic rubbers. In gasoline generally we another term we generally call the petrol, so which is generally used for the fuel for a motors or bikes. And this in this the olefins, these aromatics compounds and the isoparaffins compounds are very important in the properties of the gasoline. So we have to the methyl group or ethyl group generally adding the system, which reduces the which increases the efficiency of the fuel, calorific value and the efficiency of the fuel. The next one is anesthetics made of other ether and procaine. It is a drug, and the antipyretic acetophenotine, phenitidine, antipyrine, and aminopyrine. So these are the different drugs generally used for the antipyretic applications. And the antiseptics includes many alkylating products that are exemplify several different types of alkylic linkage. The examples of hexyl, resorcinol, and thymol being example of nuclear alkylation. Glycol have oxygen alkylation. So these are some drugs examples we generally we used for the different medical applications. And the merthiolate have a metal alkylation. So this bonding we have initially starting of this lecture we have read this oxygen alkylation or metal alkylation. The alkylation process enter into the dye manufacturing in two different ways, because dyes may be formed from alkylate intermediate or in in a lesser number of instant and intermediate may be subjected to alkylation as a final step. The dimethyl aniline is a condensed with the phosphogene to give tetramethyl diamino benzophenone, which is a micellar ketone. It is a type of dye. Ketone are the forms many dyes such as crystal violet or Victoria blue. So these are the two. And other example of dyes are azoxystrobin dye. Paper yellow 3G is ethylated to give chrysophenene G. So these are different type of dye we can manufacturing by this alkylation process. The next one is among the booster explosive, this trinitrophenyl methyl nitroamine, commonly called tetryl or tetralite, which is used for as a explosive. And in the flavor example is vanillin, which have also this alkylation process. And in the preparation of hypnotics, example barbitals, veronals, phenobarbitals, luminal and amityl. So these are the different hypnotics examples, which is for the sleeping purpose or okay. So these are some examples of the alkylation. Amongst alkylated intermediate, dimethyl aniline has an extensive and varied application. Benzyl ethylamine aniline, benzyl methyl aniline, diethyl aniline, dianicidine, M-diethyl aminophenol, and trimethyl phenylammonium chloride, alkyl silane are used as intermediate for polymeric silicon organics which have resistance to extreme temperature. In the perfume industries, we also use these alkaline reactions. Includes numerous instances of alkylated compounds such as nerolene and artificial musk. As a photography developer, metol and methyl p-aminophenol sulfate has a long held an important place for developing a photograph. Germicides and detergents, alkyl quaternary compounds have attained an important place. So these are some examples which used for the production of the different products, which is perfumes, photography developer, detergents, and medicines, drugs, and explosives, where this alkylation reaction is happening. And the solvents like ethylene glycol ether and diethylene dioxide or p-dioxane, these are some common solvents we used for the different purpose. So today we have discussed about the different detergents, perfumes, and the flavors, and the hypnotics drugs, booster explosives, and this alkaline process we have discussed. And in the petroleum industry, for the gasoline production or diesel production, we have used this alkylation, hypnotics, lubricants, hyponetics. So we have used these detergent dyes. And so these are, and what is the alkylation? So these are the things we have used in our this lecture. So in the next lecture we will read about what is this alkylation process, and what is the further other topic we will read in the next lecture. So thank you very much. This is my email ID. If you have any doubts, so you can ask me or email me. Thank you.